Release District.
Akbaya, 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 Akbaya.
Cheese, come on, live in the flesh. In the flesh, we are live. It's the Agbaya Show. Make sure you like and subscribe. You know, you're tuned in with your fine boy, Damo, Veli, Stanfield. Can I get a round of applause, please? Hey, energy. There's vim in the clap. It's true. We thank God. We're grateful. Another week, man. Like, you know, I'm just hopeful that, you know, everyone's had a good week. It's been kind of a long time. Can't lie. I feel like I've even changed a bit. You know, them ones there, but we changed for the better, innit?
Of course.
Come on, like, but you know, without further ado, you know, I got me a fine guest in the building. This one's an interesting one. You know, like, feel like she might even like question my own behavior in this one due to her profession. You know, obviously I got a wonderful therapist in the building. Like, I feel like I'm kind of even honored to even sort of reach that level, to even get that sort of caliber guest. Like, no, honestly, like, I'm not, like, this is not me, like, shitting on the previous guests. You people are good, dude. You people are all good. But it's a case, like, now, like, jeez, well, because this episode, we're going to talk.
Yeah.
We're going to talk. So,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
obviously, without further ado, you know, I got the honor to introduce, you know, Shazara Melody. Come on.
Thank you for having me.
Jeez, thank you for, you know, coming, you know, accepting. You know, it takes a lot. You know, sometimes you might get a random DM and you're thinking, oh, no, not this again.
Who's this guy?
You know, hungry. But, yeah, no, like, thank you for coming on. You know, I hope the driving wasn't too bad.
No, it was all right. I live in South, so it's fine.
Gee, Southeast as well, yeah. Come represent him. We like that. But obviously, like, you know, without going anywhere in this episode, you know, I like our guests to always introduce themselves to the people, them, you know, your name, where you're from, what you do.
All right. So I'm known online as Shazara Melody. My government name is Shara Smith.
Hey!
But due to the nature of my job, it's so funny because people are like, why do people call you Shazara? And I'm like, you know what? Because I work in a secondary school,
Yeah.
I remember, and I've been working in my school for 10 years, and I remember one of the first safeguarding trainings that we went on, they always said that for teachers to adapt their names on social media.
Okay.
So my nickname was Shaz, my real name is Shara. I had a bright idea to merge the two together.
Jeez, no, that's a big...
And now for like the last 10 years, everyone knows me as Shazara, and my middle name is Melody. So it's just kind of stuck. So everyone calls me Shazara now. And it's just stuck, and I kind of like it. So there we are.
Jeez, come on.
So yeah, I work full time in a secondary school as head of year 10 and ELSA,
Jeez.
which is an emotional literacy support assistant. So that's teaching things like emotional regulation, anger management, social skills. I do groups on rules, choices and boundaries. So it's a newer thing that's come in, but it uses a lot of the therapy skills that I do in my private work. I can build that in school.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of takes me away from being that disciplinarian, because in my role as a head of year, like, you've got to be on job.
Oh, you have
Do you know
to,
what I mean?
you have to.
You're dealing with behaviour of teenagers in a South London secondary school. So there's no time to play.
There's no... Hey, listen, South London, there's no time
I'm
to play.
telling you. So having the dual roles is amazing. So I really love that. And then outside of that, I run a private practice of counselling where I do individual counselling, couples counselling, mediation for families, and mentoring as well with young people. And that comes under my business called Peace of Mind.
Jeez.
And also behaviour consultancy as well, where I write youth mentoring programs for organisations that go into schools or need assemblies or workshops. So, busy woman. And I've just started co-hosting a therapy podcast with Scotty.
Jeez.
And I am loving it. So we take things that's happening in our Black community, especially topics that we need to discuss on a deeper level, and bring it from a more therapeutic understanding of what the layers could be or what's contributing to different issues. So like recently we've just done one on relationships and why relationships in the Black community don't seem to be working as well as back in the day. And it's been really good having those conversations and looking at the reasons why, or with doing a little bit of relationship work now in therapy.
Hold
talking.
on, hold
I'm going a
on,
bit
hold on.
far in it.
Yeah, man's not even. I said,
I'm so sorry.
I said, what's your name? Where are you from? And what do you do? My girl has.
Listen, I'm a woman of many talents. so
No,
I'm just
no, you are. You know what? You're
giving it all.
unique. You're
Giving it all.
peculiar, and like even just hearing, it, I'm just like, damn. Like it just felt like every shot, like there's no time. You don't have time. So even for you to even give me time here, like I'm grateful.
Oh,
But no, we have to cut that one short because now we
Slow down a little bit.
slow down. We gotta get deep into that because right now we're moving on to Agbaya of the week.
Oh dear.
Obviously, for the people, then once again, if you don't know what Agbaya is, you know, a lot of my Nigerian people even tell me I'm not even pronouncing it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, my own people. They said you say it like an Englishman. Like speak like a Nigerian man. I'm trying. More about Yoruba now. Obviously, I understand Yoruba. That's what I said. But they'll even say I didn't say it properly. You understand? But Agbaya of the week. Obviously, I'm gonna let the editor run the clip. Because, Shaz, what we say, man, like, as a therapist, like, when you see something like that, yeah, how would you even sort of evaluate it? Somebody has decided to tie their hair up on the London transport tube, and she's just spinning while she's texting. What do we file that under?
I don't know if this is the right language or not, but Oyinbo behaviour.
Yeah. Like and subscribe. Oyinbo behavior, yes. Because these sort of things, carry on.
No, like that is foolishness. Attention seeking. It doesn't make sense. Why? I'm lost for words. There's only certain people in this life that will do things like that. If you get my drift.
And you know, it's not us. It's not us.
They don't look like us.
But you know what it is, yeah? Like when you go like deep into these sort of like psychological things, like would you say like there's maybe suffering from maybe attention not at home when she was a younger person? Or is it a thing that she just feels like she's living in the age of where clout is currency? Yeah. So why not, be different?
There could be many layers to it.
Yeah.
I think one of the main reasons from looking at it is, like you said, the clout currency. What can I do that can capture people's attention? What can I do to go viral? What can I do to increase my social media following? Everyone is fighting to have that viral clip or that viral moment to gain popularity or to make money online or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's literally coming up with stupid ideas of what can I do to be noticed.
Yeah.
And this is just the prime example of that.
And this is where it gets very dangerous because now, as we're analyzing it like that, a brand owner who, has more money than sense might feel like, you know what? Let's make an advert out of this.
Yeah.
And before you know it, she's made probably maybe 30 to 100 bags off a little viral moment.
Yeah.
And why it's so dangerous? Because it's going to allow more people to say, you know what? I need to do something wild like that as well.
Yeah.
Listen, people, I can't lie. We need more plumbers. We need more electricians.
I've been telling my students, not everyone needs to be a rapper. Not everyone needs to be a footballer. We need people. We need accountants. We need bus drivers. We need train drivers.
We need them. I'm telling you, listen, when I'm on the way to work in the morning, the train is delayed. Why? Because maybe the driver is not there on time. And what happened to the potential driver that could take over? He's on TikTok doing... Like, I swear to you, yeah, I'm not gonna lie, I love my black people, love the community. I love dancing. I used to be a rapper as well. I used to produce. I still produce on the side. I play the piano. You understand? Okay. Obviously, 9 to 5, I'm an accountant. So obviously, you can see that, you understand, there's thought pattern behind it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to be a rapper. Then I realized, listen, this ain't really gonna take me as far as I think it will, unless I certainly compromise my values. You understand? Accounting will take me where I need to go as long as I don't whistle blow.
Yeah.
You see what I'm trying to say? There's a lot. Yeah. But it's one of them ones. So now it's a case of you just merge all these sort of things together.
Absolutely.
Now you can probably use your accounting to probably speak to a few artists and do their taxes.
Absolutely.
Or you can make up your own house where you provide those services for them.
I love that.
You understand?
Thinking outside of the box.
We try.
Yeah.
Gee, like and subscribe. But it's a case. It's a case here where a lot of people aren't thinking outside the box anymore, and now we're getting more and more things on the timeline where people are trying to do random freestyles. People are trying to do random dance moves, or people are even trying to do, I don't know, anything and everything other than reading their book. It's mad. It's like, I feel like the book, it feels like the book in the black community can be seen as a kryptonite sometimes. And I feel like it might be to the fact that sometimes we don't have the best attention span.
Okay.
I feel like a lot of black people are because we're very creative.
Yeah.
That's one thing I always say about our people. Like we are. I'm not saying other races aren't, because I know they can come and say, "What about us?" I'm just speaking on our people.
Yeah.
You understand? We're creative, and sometimes to the point that some of us, it affects us to the level of concentration. I hope I'm making sense. I hope I'm articulating.
No. Go ahead. You are.
You see, so it's a case where you find, that's why I feel like you find a lot of people, like you said, rapping, being making music, dancing, doing all these other things other than actually sitting there and doing the theory.
Yeah.
I'm not a theoretical person. I'll be real. Like when I play the piano, I play by ear.
Okay.
So
yeah.
if you give me a book to read, I swear to you, if there's no pictures in there, I'm not reading it. I sound so childish right now, but I'm owning it. Like, and I thought I was so cool growing up when I used to say that in front of girls. What? If there's no books in the pictures, why am I reading it? Thinking, yeah, I'm a G, bro. I'm like, not knowing, bro, I'm dumb. I'm not dumb, sorry, but I'm
different learning style.
I have a I have a different learning style.
Yeah.
However, like, there's nothing stopping me
Yes.
from, you understand,
Absolutely.
overcoming that difficulty I'm suffering. You understand? I like the fact you said we have a different learning style, and that's something I sort of took on board as life goes on. Like, I could watch YouTube, read, I could see something in like 5 minutes, and I swear to you, it will feel like I've spent 6 months
Yeah.
just based off the results.
I feel the same.
Yeah?
I struggle to read books, but I will listen to a podcast 24/7. I'm doing my makeup, I'm getting ready, and I realize, hold on, I'm what do you call it, an audio learner. Where I need to listen. Reading it, it's not going in.
It's not
But if I'm listening to it while I'm driving, I can listen to a book. And I was like, why have I just discovered this hitting 30? Like, and now I've realised I need to listen to things to be able to understand it and process it. But if I read it, it's not quite going in the same way.
So do you feel like, just based on saying that now, obviously before, because we're still on Agbaya of the week, do you feel like had they have identified that when we were in school now, it could have had a greater impact
Yeah.
in the kid's life nowadays? Because, you know, growing up, you know, you go into class, it's moving at a pace, so you have to keep up. If you don't keep up, you're messed up. And then just based on that, they'll say, it seems like he's struggling, let's put him in the bottom set. Whereas really, like you said, it could just be that it's a different learning style.
100%. I think even if we were to teach children the different ways of learning,
Yeah.
and help them reflect on which one do I resonate with more,
Yeah.
and then teach them the responsibility of learning in that way. Schools are always going to teach it one way, but when you go home and you do your independent study or your homework, how can you adapt it so that you can understand it now?
There we go.
And it's teaching them the skills to be able to do that.
You see, so what I'm getting from what you're saying, if we taught those skills to the young kids back in the days when we were in kids, you wouldn't have a woman on London transport spinning herself
Doing foolishness.
doing foolishness. Because I'm not gonna lie to you, like we need to police all these people now. Don't get me wrong, everyone, if you wanna stand out and be different, but within reason. Within reason. Because now I believe in a sense of my children are gonna ask me, Dad, how did we get this mansion? I'm gonna get a mansion and a G-Wagon.
Amen.
But amen. But they're gonna say to me, how did you achieve all of this? And I wanna make sure I told them I put in the work. Not that I sold myself, or I was spinning on London transport, or I was dancing in front of a policeman, or all these sort of things. No, that's why I really respect a lot of people who are deciding to take the long way up. A lot of people are using the escalator, elevator.
So we've lost the essence of hard work and dedication and
really
commitment to a graft or to something to build. We want quick results. What do they call it? A microwave generation. We
Yes.
want instant, quick results. So I'm not going to work for this when I can game and make money, or I can do a stupid clip and go viral and make the same amount of money or more.
Crazy. Hey, but,
And it's happening.
wait. Before we move on, don't disrespect game. I like my games, bruv.
That's absolutely fine. In your corner.
You know that leg cross. I sense the disappointment. Like, oh god.
Nah, there's no disappointment. I think it's just okay. You game, and what else do you do? But for a person where gaming is the only thing that they are good at and the only thing that they do,
Yeah.
for me it shows, okay, you're stuck in childhood and you've not grown into adulthood. Because by now it should be a hobby.
Yes.
And I'm not saying don't make money off it. Of course, do your thing. But what else do you do? If you were that child playing games at 11 and you're still that person playing games at 22, 23, 24, and you've not learned anything else that can complement it
Yeah.
to work with it,
It's,
what are you doing?
My people,
Yeah, we got to do better.
we have to do better, man. Listen, the lady who was spinning around on this tube, you're not running away from this. You are the Agbaya of the week. Hold slap.
Agbaya.
All right, then. When you say, well, you know, warming up, yeah, loosening up, yeah. I'm seeing a lot of smiling, a lot of giggles. The teeth is on show. You have beautiful teeth as well, you know.
Thank you.
What you say, Invisalign?
No, I had braces when I was younger.
I'll swear down.
I was a brace kid. Yeah, brace face. But I
Brace
got
face.
it young, like year 6 into year 7. So by teenager, braces were out the way and my teeth were straight and nice.
Gee, hey, you remember that cartoon, Brace Face?
Yeah.
Hey, my life is complicated. Teenage. Hey, if they don't know them songs,
Too young.
too young. You see, I wish I had braces. Like, obviously, I chipped my tooth, and I thought I could try and just G mode it. But yeah, man. I mean, we try. My children have excellent teeth, so obviously they got it for their mum. So but obviously we're moving on to quiz time. It's a favorite. It's one of the favorite moments of this show.
Oh, gosh.
We tend to choose between one artist or the other. It could be an actor. It could be anything. It could
I
even
hope I know these people.
yeah. It could even be food.
Okay.
So the first thing I'm putting out there, yeah, it's an interesting one. Idris Elba or
Idris.
you already
I'll play. Go ahead.
or Morris Chestnut.
Oh, damn.
So obviously it can be based on looks, talent, skill, but overall.
I'm not going to lie. I didn't think anyone would top Idris. But I'm going to have to go Morris Chestnut.
Yeah.
He's got a presence about him that it just makes women crumble.
Jeez, I like to say that I'm like a UK Morris. Are you crumbling?
Yeah, of course. Of course.
No, don't do no. Respectfully, partner. Hey, let me respect the territory. Okay, so you're going with Morris, yeah?
I'm going with Morris.
All right.
Yeah, sorry, Idris.
He's a real G, man, Idris. Okay, next person. We're going through like music now, yeah. You a big fan of music?
I am, but back in the day, music. I don't know who these people are right now.
Okay, Estelle. No.
Yeah, American Boy Woman, innit?
Yeah. Okay, Estelle or Shola Ama.
That's interesting because I feel like they were both kind of stuck in their careers to a certain degree. I'm going to go with Estelle.
Yeah?
Yeah,
Jeez.
I'm going to go with Estelle.
Like the way it's creeping. I'm just that's my time.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Estelle.
Obviously,
to
big up
you.
Shola Ama and Auntie
Yeah,
Shola.
absolutely.
Big up, man.
They
Okay.
deserve their flowers.
Yeah, they're not listening. You know what it is? They both deserve flowers. Yeah, and like I feel like with the UK being such bad vibes at times,
Oh.
they don't get it.
Yeah.
The fact that most of these people had to branch out overseas.
That's what I mean. They both were stuck in their careers and they should have been so much bigger than what they were. But for the work that they did do, amazing.
Jeez.
But I wish the community or whoever behind the scenes pushed them so much further.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, next person, yeah?
Okay.
This one's a favorite. Missy Elliott or Lil Kim?
Missy Elliott.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Tell me.
I just feel like Lil Kim has done too much. I feel like Missy Elliott has just been Missy Elliott through and through. She's just been that black woman, and she's been who she is as she stood on business.
Jeez.
Kim is just... We don't even recognise her anymore. So...
All I remember is the
yeah. God bless her, but no, Missy Elliott.
And Kim, you know what it is? Before she did all the transformations, she was
that girl.
that girl.
She was beautiful.
Listen.
Beautiful.
But then, industry, the requirements, the thick girls came into fashion.
See, she's someone that I'd love to have in a therapy room and just find out why. Let's get to the bottom of this.
Lil
Why?
Kim, hit her up.
Innit?
Qualified. Okay, next one now, yeah? Gabrielle Union,
Okay.
yeah? Or Sandra Bullock.
Is that a serious question?
Sandra Bullock's done some good films,
She's incredible. But Gabrielle Union.
Come on,
every
okay.
time.
You know what it is? Because obviously the reason why I switched it up here, because I don't always want to put my people against each other. Obviously,
for sure.
this isn't a case of I'm putting anyone against each other. Both can coexist to be
Absolutely.
great. But sometimes let's all right, Jamie Foxx, yeah,
Uncle Jamie.
or you ready?
Yeah.
Usher.
I'm going to go with Jamie Foxx.
Yeah?
I'm going to go with Jamie Foxx.
Tell me.
Something about that man. Like, Usher's got the hits. Like, he is a absolute R&B king. But I don't know. Jamie Foxx has just got this salt and pepper. Yeah, he's just got the vibes, man.
Well seasoned, yeah.
Well seasoned.
Pause.
Yeah.
I have to, yeah. But
Jamie's just been that guy. He's just no matter what age he is, no matter what he's doing, singing, acting, playing piano, whatever he's doing, he's just been that guy.
so talented, and he's singing, like I said, singing, acting,
Comedy.
comedy.
He can put his hands to anything. I like that multi-talentedness in him.
No, I agree with you. I fuck with that still. Obviously, in a woman on my side, innit? No, I love a multi-talented woman.
clarify.
Yeah, just to clarify, I like to always clarify transparency. But yeah, okay. So you'll go with Jamie Foxx. Old Town Usher, because obviously he's been doing his
Absolutely.
performances. Obviously, I'm not a really big fan of that whole cherry thing. I've got my own things to say about that, but personally, I feel like one day Usher's gonna come on this podcast, so I don't want to rubbish a man's activity. You understand, Carl? He can probably just explain to me why he's doing it when he's sitting here, innit? You get me? But there'll be no cherry here, bro. You get punched up by the man, then, bro. But obviously, that's the end of quiz time, and I feel like you've fully just, you're over it now.
Okay.
You're over the nerves. What I mean, like
That was
before.
a good icebreaker. I like that.
Yeah.
It was a good icebreaker.
Okay. Like I see, you're just comfortable now. The only thing you're missing is just a glass of is it barefoot Moscato?
Moscato. Every woman's favorite drink.
Moscato. Oh, okay. So what, you like wine and cheese? Yeah, cheese and wine.
Cheese, not so much, because I don't know what's going on with black people in cheese intolerance and lactose intolerance at the moment. Don't get me wrong, it don't stop me. I'm going to eat that cheese, but deal with the consequences later. But yeah, I love a glass of wine every now and again.
Jeez, come on. So what? So you're drinking the wine, your partner drinks the Guinness,
He'll drink wine with me,
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
My
he'll
God.
drink wine with me.
Listen, let me tell you, yeah. Shout out, big up the pun, because a lot of people feel like it's not masculine to drink a little glass of wine.
Yeah.
Listen, I like wine, and it's a creeper.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a creeper. Obviously, I drink the small Maggie and that, but that's a bit that's childish wine. But when it comes to the big wine, hey, trust me, it's a creeper. But obviously, going into the main topic, who is Shazara Melody? You know, when I first heard the name,
Yeah.
I said, nah, man, this girl must do judge. Like,
What?
like Shaza Kadabra. Like, I just said, nah, hypnosis. Get out.
That's so funny.
Even the way you're sitting, all you need is the teacup. And you
Oh
just,
my
bing,
God.
bing. I'm just...
I cannot be giving off those vibes.
No. The name is like, it's unique until you told me why it was, you decided to use it. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Obviously, in school, you don't want the kids,
Listen, so my name is not even on any social media anywhere. Those kids have found me.
How?
Even just doing TikTok, hi Miss Smith. Like, you see the kids in the comments like block. They listen. You can't escape from teenagers. They will. I'm like, I don't even have my real name on social media, and they will find me and be all up in my comments in my page, and I just have to be boundary block.
Jeez.
Yeah.
You know what it is?
Love them to bits, but boy, I gotta have some kind of private life.
No, you need a private
I
life,
can't
but
even keep my own name. Like, what do you mean? I've lost everything else. Let me at least have a little TikTok.
what more do you want from me?
Literally.
Hey. But you know what it is there? Like, growing up as a, young boy in a boys' school, I went to, obviously, St. Thomas the Apostle in Peckham now. So, it's a case of, I can understand how or why they would have found you. Like, young boys looking up to maybe a teacher that they probably even find nice or attractive. Who's yes? What does she have? Because when we were young boys in school, there were a few teachers that we probably had crushes on.
Yeah.
That when she walks in, Mrs. A, Mrs. A.
Yeah.
You understand? You're on your best behavior when she comes. Even she touches your shoulder. I'm never washing this shoulder again.
No way.
So now probably one of the boys, they might even have small crushes on you. But
nah, man, I'm auntie vibes in school. There's no way. I am full on auntie vibe. There is no way. There's sixth formers.
Yeah.
But back in the day, not so much now. Because I remember I started working in school when I was like 21, 22. So I was in that age bracket.
Yeah.
Back then it was like, a bit techie. So I'm like, I'll only work with year 7.
Yeah.
But I'm a big woman now. I'm auntie.
Yeah, definitely auntie vibes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
I don't play.
but even like, because I find it so interesting. Before we go into the therapist vibes and this segment, I feel like growing up, going to school in South London yourself. Yeah. Experiencing what we experienced growing up. All the rebuttals back and forth with teachers, and now you're in that situation.
I never saw it coming.
Yeah. In certain situations where you have had probably encounters with some of the kids and they probably reacted the way you've reacted when you're younger, is there a case of, you know what, I understand?
I do.
Yeah.
A prime example could be in school. I very rarely remember doing a detention.
Really?
Not because I didn't get them, but because my attitude was I ain't going. So now in my job where I'm having to collect students for detention and run detention and kids are like, they ain't going, I'm like, I get it. I get it, because that was me. And I wasn't a misbehaved child or anything. It was just like, I'm not wasting my time sitting there writing lines. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
And I don't know, things weren't as structured back then, so I kind of just got away with it, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
But now it's like, okay, you ain't going to detention. You'll be in exclusion tomorrow. And you ain't going back to lessons until that detention is done.
Hey.
So there's a lot more consequences in place now where I feel like, okay, yeah, this is a little bit of taste of my own medicine. But I wasn't a bad student. I kind of was I just went to school and went home.
So like
I had the time of my life, to be honest with you.
Yeah?
Yeah, but we just had fun. In that year group, we had fun. We wasn't bad. We had fun. That was it. I had a great childhood in school. Big up St. Andrews, Croydon. Okay.
Jeez, come on.
Just
Come
saying.
on. No, you know what it is? It's just because like I feel also it's like now there's a lot of black teachers.
Yeah.
Head of years. So we're actually sort of, coming into play and sort of trying to help our own.
Absolutely.
And it's like, how does that sort of situation where you're trying to explain to the parent, maybe their child has misbehaved, and are they understanding, or is it a case that they're still trying to fight you, forgetting that you're trying to be on their side and help them as well?
It depends on the type of parent.
Yeah.
Most parents are amazing and will work with you and understand that I'm not against your kid.
Yeah.
I don't do this job because I don't have anything else I could do. I do this job because I'm passionate about working with your children to help them. I'm passionate about working in my community.
Yeah.
But I think I remember back in the day where you've had parents that, say, for example, I had parents that both got kicked out of school, met each other, mum and dad met each other in a Peru, had a kid. That kid's now my student and misbehaving. Mum and dad can't stand each other. So they've got their own issues with school because they got kicked out of school.
Oh my goodness.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
The school's kind of, I wouldn't say given up on them, but they've had to be sent to centre and all this kind of stuff. They've met, got pregnant young, had this child. This child is
Now the
a lot.
the remix of
Yeah, so when I'm inviting parents in for meetings now, and it's just like they've got this issue with school, and I'm like, I'm not your teacher. I'm your child's teacher. Like, stop beefing me. Yeah, sometimes parents can be really, really difficult, but it there's a variety.
Yeah.
I've got amazing parents as well, and it's a variety. But the ones that you do find difficult, it's about building that relationship, understanding the barriers, understanding what the lack of connection may be,
Yeah.
and building that with them so that they understand. I'm not here to baby your son or daughter.
Yes.
I'm here to teach them right from wrong, and
Yep.
I'm here to teach them consequences. So if they've decided to make that decision, they've decided to make that decision knowing fully well what the consequences are going to be. But what I am going to do is help them reflect and help them make better choices next time.
Come on.
I'm not going to just leave them to make stupid choices. We're going to sit down, we're going to have that one-to-one, and we're going to figure out why did we do this, and
Yeah.
what can stop me from making the same mistakes again.
Okay, so I mean, and you know what it is? It's even like how cause it feels like it's so sad that you explaining that to the parent,
Oh yeah.
and like sometimes it's just like still falling on deaf ears. Like sometimes where do you go from there? I feel like it's like we're stuck in a maze, because we wanna raise our kids, but we're sending our we want to raise our kids, but we're sending our kids to school,
Yeah.
and the school's raising them.
Yeah.
However, the school is sometimes even advising the parent of areas of improvement, yet the parent is not taking it on board.
I think one of the main reasons for that is what we need to understand is your children are the best actors in the world.
Yeah.
So the things that school may be saying that we see in your child, you ain't seeing at home because they know better than to behave like that at home. Do you know what I mean? So sometimes you've got a child who is one way in at home and a completely different way in school. And so, for example, in terms of the question you asked about parents not taking advice, I remember working with this child in year 7.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this child has got some serious anger issues. We need to figure out a healthy way to help him manage his emotions, otherwise he's going to hurt someone. Sat with parents and I said, listen, you need to get your child into boxing or martial arts or some kind of physical activity that will teach him, army cadets, some physical activity that will help train him to manage his emotions, but also find a healthy way to get that energy out.
Yeah.
Parents, no, we'll handle it. Okay, cool. He got kicked out for fighting, but in his fighting, hurt a teacher.
Oh.
Said to parents, you need to get him into some kind of activity to help him, some male mentors. And I'm like, and I had this conversation so many times, and it was like, why are you not listening? I'm trying to stop your son from going to prison at this point.
Yeah.
Because he's 11 now, but if he behaves like this in a couple of years' time, you're getting arrested and you're getting locked up.
Yeah, 100%.
There is no teacher or Miss Smith coming to help save you. Do you know what I mean? Like, I want to save your son, but I'm training him for when he leaves school, and I'm not going to be there. You're not going to be there. He could be in a club and something happens and boom, he's the one fighting. That's it. He's
Done.
gone. So I'm
Yeah.
like, I can't just look at the kid at 11. I've got to look at what their future is. And it's difficult sometimes when you're advising parents. But because they don't see it,
Yeah.
they don't see those behaviours themselves, they can't imagine it. So they're just slow on acting or putting things in place.
So, would you say, yeah? Because just hearing that alone, like I feel like some parents are even aware of what you're
They're aware, but they're in denial.
in denial, or they may be powerless because maybe this child has maybe the child's become too strong for them to even try and challenge.
Yeah.
And now or maybe the child is gained from influence from the roads. So now they come at home and remember their mum said, "What? Shut up! Dad, shut up! What do you mean? You can't tell me what to do." And before you know it, like you said, they're in denial.
Yeah.
Or they pretend like it's something that they've never seen before.
Denial or power. Yeah.
And
Or then they turn around and blame the school. And I'm like, what more do you want me to do? A head of year, a teacher, a social worker, a mum, a auntie, a therapist, a mentor,
it's a lot.
a spiritual leader. Do you know what I mean? Like, what more roles do you want us to do within school other than like? I remember saying to a parent that was accusing the school of not doing enough, and I was like, and I did so much for this child. And I said to this mum, the only thing left for me to do with your son is to take him home and raise him myself.
Really?
I said, there's nothing more. I said, I feed him, I clothe him. Do you know what I mean? If I know he's going to get in trouble just going from one lesson to another, I'll pick him up from that lesson. And I've got things to do.
Yeah.
And take him to the next lesson. And I was like, the only thing left is come home, come live with me, let me raise you myself. That was the only thing left.
So do you feel like parents are very ungrateful? Some parents in schools, with everything you're trying to do to protect their child, and turn back and say, you don't care about my child. Da, 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 da.
Sometimes, but I think it comes from a place of frustration of them not knowing what to do and possibly feeling that they failed as a parent. So you instantly go into that deflection mode of who else can I blame to take some responsibility for this. So I don't think it's always an ungratefulness, but it's, I don't know what else to do here. I don't have some parents are parenting for the first time. Do you know what I mean? Like we're learning as we go. Do you know what I mean? You may have 3 kids, but your oldest child is the first time they've had a teenager. You're learning as you go.
Yeah.
So sometimes they just genuinely don't know, and they're expecting. I think the issue is schools are expected to do too much.
Yeah.
But I also think that society in itself is just struggling with what to do with this generation now, because we ain't had a generation like the one that we've got now.
Oh my goodness, this generation
We ain't had one like this before.
But then you deep it, like they shut down youth centres. When we were growing up, there was some youth club, community centres. We can go there, chill with the man them, do stuff that obviously, or maybe there was, I don't know, football parks or whatnot.
Yeah.
But now there's nothing. People are trying to be streamers. If you're not streaming, then you're on the road. If you're not on the road, then I don't.
I think it's the demand as well from work.
Yeah.
Say, for example, if you're a single parent and you're working 9 to 5 in London, say, for example, you're getting home 6:15, your kid finishes school at 3 o'clock. So between 3 and 6:15, what's your child doing?
Yeah.
At that point, you could say to your child, go straight home, get a little chicken and chips on the way home and go straight home. They've got 3 and a bit hours to kill. They're going to get up to mischief at times. Do you know what I mean? So I always say to parents, get them in as many clubs as possible.
Yeah.
And I know it's expensive, and I completely understand the financial restraints on certain families and stuff, but where you can get them into activity after school, keep
100.
them occupied. If not, like you were saying, the streets are going to catch you.
They're going to swallow those kids up,
Or you will have a kid that's addicted to games, and they will wholeheartedly rush home to sit in front of their game, and they ain't moving.
Leave the game alone. The second time. The third time, you're out. No,
Don't get me wrong, we would rather your child be in the home and be safe, absolutely. But then you've also got to think about, what are the impacts? Can my child hold a conversation?
Yeah.
What's my child's social skills like?
It's true.
Is my child scared to go outside? What's that phobia called where you're scared to be around people? There's a name for it. I can't remember. It's going out of my head.
I was going to say social anxiety.
Social anxiety, but there's also another name like where you don't want to be in crowds, or you can't take the train, or you can't take the bus.
Something phobic. Something. I know.
You know what I mean, right?
Yeah.
So even with there's layers in all different areas, but you got to weigh it up, and I think parents have got an extremely difficult job.
Yes.
So I think and don't get me wrong, there are teachers and there are schools and there are issues with certain things, but for the most part, teachers don't teach for the money. They're doing this because they really enjoy working with young people. So sometimes I say to parents, like, do you want to come and do 1 day in the secondary school? Come and volunteer at lunchtime
They'll
and
sue me.
see the warfare that we go through.
No. You know me, I'll have the belt on. We're ready.
It's warfare, but when you enjoy it as well, it's a mixture.
Yeah.
The good can far outweigh the bad. 100%.
And I feel like even like just your energy, your attitude, I feel like you do enjoy just helping. Like,
I love my young people.
yeah,
I do.
that's
I
good,
do.
man. Jeez. So obviously, like speaking of like, loving to help and whatnot, because I feel like it's such an interesting sort of career path you've taken. Like your head of year,
Yeah.
which is sick, well done. And now you have private therapy sessions with clients.
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like your whole lifestyle revolves around, like you said, just loving to help young people, even old people, middle-aged people, whoever. I'm sure if you could even speak to animals, you would help them too. Auntie Doolittle, that's what I would call it. Like and subscribe. But it's a case here, like, how did it happen? You decided you wanted to be a therapist.
Right, I remember growing up, I always wanted to be a midwife. And I had planned to go to uni and be a midwife. And then I remember whilst I was applying for my UCAS, my college teacher, his name was Sam at the time at John Ruskin, and I said, something just don't feel right. Like, I just don't feel like midwifery is for me. And he said, just scroll through all the courses in the country and pick one. I said, all right. Scrolled through all the courses and I found counselling, mentoring and life coaching. And I just knew that was it. So I studied the combination of counselling, mentoring, life coaching. And then I specialised in counselling for my last 2 years.
Sick.
And that was it. I'd always been that person that people could talk to, or that kid that people I held everyone's secrets. Do you know what I mean? I was just always listening to people. So it was natural, and I had always had a level of maturity in helping people navigate life and friendships and all kinds of things.
Yeah.
So it just felt like a natural next step. So that's what I did.
Serious. And like, were there any other inspirations, things that inspired you to want to do that, or is it a case of after Sam from John Ruskin, big up Sam, big up John Ruskin, after like he gave you the advice, that was it?
I just knew that was purpose.
Okay.
And I remember I'd always wanted to be a midwife, but that feeling was just like, this isn't for me. Maybe for someone else, but this isn't my path.
I can't imagine you doing the midwifery. You got your French tips on. Now the baby has broken your nail.
But I didn't even consider any other career path outside of that.
Yeah.
Because that was just what I was set on. I just always wanted to deliver babies. And for it to change like in an instant was kind of devastating. But at the same time, it opened me up to, hold on, there's something else natural about me. I have a natural gifting in another area that I've never fully explored. So to explore it, and even similar to what we spoke about earlier, going to university, that was the first time that I felt academic. I was always that Middlesex kid, just about scraping by. I was never super academic.
Yeah.
When I went to uni and I was able to ace those essays and assignments, and I was like, hold on, where's this come from?
Jeez.
But the way how they taught, it just connected with me. And for
Yeah.
the first time, it felt like I can actually do education.
Jeez, no, we
And
thank
do it
God.
well. Yeah.
And it goes back to what you said at the beginning. Like, I like one thing I've noticed about a lot of my episodes. It's like a full circle. We have full circle moments. You said at the beginning a different learning style.
Yeah.
You understand? Maybe it came to a point that you were getting everything, like I said, because the style was different. You're
different.
connecting, and it's got you into a case now where you are excellent at even listening to other people's situation. I think I saw a clip on your podcast. Big up you and Scotty.
Thank you.
And make sure you guys check out their podcast as well. Is it, was
Therapy
it
Spot.
therapy spot? Yeah,
Therapy Spot,
The therapy
yeah.
spot.
Thank
Make sure I
you.
would have put that in the thing as well. Editor, back me. But it's a case where I think one of the things you said is that a lot of women don't like basically they don't feel emotionally connected with their partner because they feel like that partner is their son.
Yeah.
And like when I saw that, I said, "Damn, this
It was
lady
talking
is
about the sexual connection.
yes,
Yeah.
And it's like I just thought like people are talking.
Yeah.
So and it's a case of like you deal with that on sort of like a daily, like the therapy, like it's a lot at times, yeah.
Boy.
Because I know you're not privy to share info, but I mean on yourself, like it must be like sometimes after a conversation, you're like,
Yeah.
I don't know if you smoke or what. Damn, I need to smoke.
Yeah, I'll have a little shot. It is hard, and I think this is where I'm having to practice a little bit more self-care at the moment.
Yes.
Because I am literally leaving work to go to work. So I'm working my full 8 to 4 in the secondary school, and I do 2 roles there, so the head of year and the ELSA. And then I leave work and go home, and I'm doing back-to-back clients throughout the evening. So then by the time I finish at 8:30 now, I'm like, damn. I've been dealing with school. Miss, can I talk to you? Miss, can I talk to you? And then I come home and then I've got therapists and they're telling me about their whatever issues they've come to therapy with, whether it's anxiety or relationship issues or whatever. And I'm like, okay, cool. Sometimes I'm so overstimulated by everything that I'm holding for everyone. I'm like, whew, I need a minute.
That must be like, because
It's hard.
me, yeah. I find in one thing, I thank God that I'm not a doctor, and I'm not I'm a very good listener, and I feel like these are my therapy sessions, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I thank God that I'm not a day to day. As a doctor, I'll be late to surgery
Yeah.
because I'll be turning up. I'll come to surgery, jewels up, Rolex, everything, talking about how I met one thing before the night before.
Oh my God.
While I'm trying to cut their small intestine. and and the therapist, because I feel like sometimes my tolerance, I don't really have the best patience. So I'll be like, nah, bruv, listen, you need to man up. No, it's your fault.
Would you know what? It's funny because I thought I was a very patient person
Yeah.
because of the roles that I do. And then my partner was like, yeah, you're not that patient. And I remember saying to my dad, Dad, do you think I'm patient? And he was like, is this a trick question? I said, no way. I said, I'm not a patient person. And I realized that I'm patient in the roles that I do. But by the time it comes to my circle and my village, I'm all out of patience. I ain't got time to deal with nothing else. And I'm like, no, I actually need to practice giving those same qualities to those that are around me. They can't be getting leftovers where my patience is so short.
No,
than everyone
100%.
else, yeah.
And you know what? Sometimes that might be the thin line between helping them or breaking them. You know what I mean? Because I feel like sometimes, obviously, I've never been to therapy. A lot of people always
You should try it. Just saying.
No, that's what.
Just say it.
I'll be real. I can't lie. Like even if I'll end up assessing the therapist. That's how I feel. Like I'll tell them my issue, and as they're responding to it, my mind will be calculating their behavior, and I'll be like, wait. This doesn't feel genuine. Then I start asking them, how did you become a therapist? Okay, so what were you going through? Then before you know it, I'm in the position of the power because I'm asking you the questions, and now it's my session to you.
Okay, so you'd need someone very skilled to be able to kind of turn it back.
Yeah. It's a tough one because turning it back with me, I'm so like I'm kind of. I remember I told you I'm a genius, and there's a lot of madness behind it. A lot of madness. So I'll try it one day, but I feel like talk amongst your people.
Absolutely.
And talk to God, and I got an excellent family, a father. If I ever have issues, I can just call him. He's a pastor, so he can.
My dad's a pastor too.
Jeez,
hold tight, the pastor's
hold
kids. We're hanging in there.
We're hanging in there, man. So it's a case of it's just tough because tell me challenges that you've probably faced, even becoming a therapist or during your day-to-day practice.
I would say one of the toughest things that I faced probably internally was I wanted to branch more into relationship therapy and couples therapy. But because I was married young and divorced young, I felt like I was disqualified from being able to do that. So even though I have a passion for helping people navigate relationships, I'm always, I love matchmaking as well. And I've matchmade 4 couples that have got married, and I was bridesmaids at a last couple, my friends last year. So I'm always helping to build relationships and all that kind of stuff. I host conversation nights where we discuss relationships and marriage and dating and everything like that in my home. So I've always had that desire to help build relationships, and I've helped couples navigate so much. But for myself, looking at it, like, I've helped save everyone else's marriage, but I couldn't save my own. That was a real hindrance for me that stopped me from pursuing a passion that I really wanted to go into.
Okay.
And what turned that around for me is I was working with a client, and she asked a few sessions later, because she'd bring her husband to a session. And I was like, you can, but I'm not a qualified couples therapist and whatever. And they came to the session, and it was like God just saying to me, I've been telling you this is what you should be doing. And now I've had to kind of navigate things in a way for you to force you into doing it.
Okay.
And I think that weekend I booked myself onto a relationship course, and I'm still studying at the moment to become a qualified relationship coach in attachment theory. So combining sort of coaching and counselling together, and yeah, but I would say that was one of the hardest internal battles.
Okay.
Just dealing with myself, what would people's opinions be, or people that know some of the journey that I've been on, and then out here wanting to help marriages, and your marriage crumbled, and do you know what I mean? And being in church and a pastor's kid and all of that, it was a real internal battle. But when I realised none of those opinions were paying my bills,
Jeez.
and I was paying this big girl mortgage by myself, I said, okay, do you know what? Let me get on with my life.
Oh, listen,
Let me do what I'm called to do.
You have to. But one thing I've noticed about people that go to therapy, people that do a lot of psychiatry work, this, maybe I could be wrong about this, because it's literally what you just said. Sometimes, a lot of people become therapists or psychiatrists based on, their own past experiences, not being able to possibly save themselves in that moment. So now all you want to do is ensure that everybody else has been saved where you wasn't able to be.
Yeah.
That like and subscribe. See, I told you, I flipped the game round. I swear to you.
100%. But sometimes you're not always willing or wanting to do that. Because even now, so for example, I do a lot of grief work now, and I lost my mum in 2021.
R.I.P.
Do I want to? Yeah, thank you. Do I want to do grief work? No. But the biggest parts of my own trauma, my own heartbreak, is now the areas that I work in. Couples therapy, my own relationship didn't work. Grief work, my own mother passed away, and having to navigate my own grief, but I've got other people coming to me wanting help to navigate their grief as well. But these are the 2 biggest places that I feel called to.
That's crazy.
It's insane, and I'm not happy about it.
But you know what they say? I don't know where they go. I think it's Marvel. With great power comes great responsibility.
That's so true.
And sometimes it's mad because I always say to people, or one of my sayings is, I always used to say, God, why me? But now everybody around me says, God, why him? You see what I'm trying to say? So it's a case of like, you've been called for a reason. You've gone through something. You've gone through an experience that is tough, but you're about to help everybody else. And I know it sounds like it's not fair, because who's helping me? Who's helping us in that situation?
When I tell you, I remember after I lost my mum, I was just like, I actually don't need any more testimonies.
Yeah.
Like, it was like, every test is... I don't need any more testimony. I have been through enough. even before losing my mum and getting divorced, I'd been through it. Now I don't need any more testimonies. And I was like, oh, but you're doing this to help everybody. I've been helping people anyway.
Trust me, who's helping me?
Do you know what I mean? Like I literally work with young people, helping raise the next generation. Like, I'm helping people already. So to say that, oh, you're just doing this to help, you're doing it to help other people, and that should be fulfilling, it's not. But there's an internal drive of purpose, I guess, that connects you to keep doing it. Because if I had my own way, no, this would not be what I would want to do.
But then you know what it is? It's a case of like, it says in the Bible, give and it will come back to you.
Absolutely.
And like sometimes, you know, we don't know what we do, but only the Most High knows. And it's a case of when we follow His way and follow His words, there's no way that we're not gonna reap the benefits.
Absolutely.
Listen, man, then when I met Shaz outside, I don't want to say the car that she was driving, but she's sitting here saying she doesn't want to help. I'm thinking, bruv, what's God doing for you? Look at the girl. Look at her. She got Chanel boots on. They got the Rolex on her arm. Nah, joking. But it's a case of like, that's the thing. Like, we've been called sometimes to these sort of things. Like, I feel like, you know, having a podcast, having a studio. I've been planted with a gift. How can I say it? I've been planted with. I gotta serve the community, basically.
Yeah.
I gotta do this for my peoples.
Yeah,
you understand?
yeah,
Like it's a anybody and everybody podcast. You understand? Like, because I know out there, when I was at that age, nobody was there for me. You understand? I had to hustle. I had to do a lot.
Yeah.
You understand? Things that I may not even be proud of. You understand? Because I wouldn't want to show the young boys now what I've done, but I would always try to steer them into the right things.
Absolutely.
You see, but I just realize sometimes it's tiring. Trust me, sometimes after these podcasts, like, I don't even want to talk to people. People like, what are you on tonight? Let's go out. Nah, bro. I've spoken to people already today.
Yeah.
Yeah, my battery's low.
Yeah,
but
yeah,
then
yeah,
you've got to realize that it's our responsibility now.
100%. And I feel like only recently am I accepting, because you can do something and not accept that this is what you're called to do. And it's only recently where I'm like, okay, even with the whole working with motherless daughters, I'm accepting that, okay, this is something that I have to do. It's so painful.
I can imagine.
So painful. But it's something I have to do. And especially with grief, like I didn't feel like our community handled grief that well, especially within the church culture. We will come to your deathbed, we'll sing songs, read hymns, read scripture. We will be there 24 hours a day. But when it comes to processing living without that person,
Oh, man.
that part no one really talks about. You will get a scripture and you'll be like, the joy of your Lord is your strength. He comforts the brokenhearted. Okay, cool, but what do I do now? Like, even when it comes to things like your confidence as a woman and navigating life as a young woman, and your role model is not there anymore, or I spoke to my mum every day, multiple times a day. We were inseparable and we looked like twins.
Really?
So that missing gap in every day, what do I do with that silence now? And that silence is so loud. How all the little things that I would do with my mum and go places and whatever, I'm doing that on my own. So I had to become comfortable with being alone.
Yeah.
In certain areas, and it's that navigating life, those silent areas, those are the parts where I'm like, that hurts. And if someone else is going through that, it's just helping them figure out that navigating life part, because it's a daily thing.
It's a tough thing, and it's like I don't constantly my grateful, parents are there. They're one day they're gonna go, and I'm like, it's inevitable.
Yeah.
But like, even like my dad, when my uncle passed away, I think last year, and I like, parents are built differently. When I spoke to him, he was like, yeah, thank God, just. But then in my head, I'm just like, but how are you really feeling? Talk to me.
Yeah.
Because if I lose you, I'm in bits.
Exactly.
I don't know what I'm gonna do. I could just, go rogue.
Yeah.
I could fully just go complete villain mode. But it's a case of like, it's all about, like you said, opening up, be able to grief, be able to speak to somebody about it, and like
100%.
the same way like I feel like hurt people hurt people. I feel like hurt people can also help people.
Whew, you're preaching. Look at you.
Like it was
Pastor.
Pastor. But this is the thing. So when you were talking about, I was like, you know what? It sounds, it's just like you said, it's not fair. And sometimes you don't even want to do it. But sometimes that hurt can just,
Yeah.
before you know it, there's 6 people who are hurting the same as you. And before you know it, you're all helping each other. And that hurt becomes love, laughter.
Yeah.
And now you're all just your own community and whatnot. So it's like life is we gotta figure it out. It's tough.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the ones that we love the most, like they'll leave us eventually, and like it's a case of sometimes we do sit there and feel like, how can this person so pure go and that person that's so tainted stay? God, why?
Yeah.
But we don't know.
Yeah. Oh, why do I have to go through this back-to-back warfare? And it's funny because someone said to me a few months ago, like, I want to be like you when I grow up. And I looked at them and I was like, oh, you don't want this. I said, I drive a nice car and I've got a beautiful flat.
Yeah.
But if you knew what I had to go through to get that.
Trust me. This is the thing.
Like, I when I left my marital home after my ex-husband had left, I said I moved back home to my mum and dad's with my clothes in black bags. My clothes were in black bags, and I had to completely restart life again. And I saved my money. I kept my backside at home. I went to therapy, and I rebuilt my life, rebuilt my confidence. And then I bought my flat, and I moved out. But I'm like, yes, the after is nice. But you see that in-between stage of having to rebuild.
Oh.
And you want to be like, me?
But
I said, girl, no.
but you know what it is, yeah? It just shows you, like, obviously all things that glitter isn't gold, number one.
That's true.
But at the same time, like, without sounding like man's glazing you, it seems that you are golden.
Thank you.
Honestly, like, no, it's cool, and congrats with, you know, I heard you say you bought your flat. Like a lot of people, you know, trying to do that aren't even able to do that right now. You've done it. So it's like, for somebody to say that they want to be like you when they're growing up. Don't get me wrong, you're thinking, damn, you don't want to go endure what I've done, but you know what? It shows you that you're steering into the right place. You're on the right
Thank
direction.
God.
It's your purpose, you know. You got your own, like, you are doing big things. I'm not here to,
I appreciate that.
yeah, man.
Do you know, I always say to people, when I was in those places where I was rock bottom, and I was like, hey, cool, about 25-ish, restarting life at 25, imagine. And I'm like, what kind of woman do I want to be by 30? And I'm 30 now. And I'm like, you know what? I've become everything that I said I wanted to be.
Thank God.
And just little bit by little bit, just day by day, what can I do to become the woman of my dreams? When I think about 30-year-old Shaz, what is she doing? What does she look like? What's she building? What's she working on? And I just made little steps towards that every single day.
And that's it.
And by God's grace,
Thank God.
we are here.
You know what? Before we even move on, because you said by God's grace, and now I've identified you. You're a Christian.
I am a Christian.
How are you
Absolutely.
paying your tithes?
I pay my tithes.
Like and subscribe. Like, you know what? Everybody I asked that to, there's only like 1 or 2 people that said they have. Everyone else says, oh, you know what? I was thinking.
By standing order every single month, it comes out my account before I can even play around with my money.
Aye, come on.
My tithes are paid.
Jeez, come on, auntie. We like it. So, obviously, before we, round up, because this episode has been going on, well, I love it. I wish I could be here for another 2 hours, but unfortunately, you have a home to go to. You have a husband, a partner to you understand? What advice would you give to your younger self if you met her, or alternatively, people who look up to you in your field of work?
I feel like people hear me say this a lot. But I think what I stand on the most would be having non-negotiables. I feel like that is such a solid foundation. Whether it's friends, family, relationships, partner, work, you have a set of non-negotiables that people cannot treat you this way. And it's knowing what that is for you. So in a relationship, for example, for one person, a non-negotiable could be adultery. So, you know, if you step out of this relationship, I'm gone. There's no conversation. There's no nothing. That's my non-negotiable. You do that, I'm out. For others, it could be someone playing around with your money, or a partner, you know what I mean, taking money out the shared account. That's their non-negotiable. And it's not the same for every person. But for me, if I had known what my non-negotiables were a little bit earlier,
Yeah.
there's certain situations that I wouldn't have been in. Because I would have identified, you can't treat me that way, and I still stick around because my presence is far more valuable than how I'm being treated. So, yeah, if I could have advised my younger self, that would have been, it would have saved my backside, in all honesty. Because sometimes I think I showed a little bit too much grace, or I was a little bit too understanding, or I'm a very committed and a very loyal person, so I want to see things through. And if we're going through difficult times, and I'm talking like relationships, family, everything,
Yeah.
I will stick it through. Even if you're in a workplace and they're treating you like trash or whatever, do you know what I mean? I'm a very committed, loyal person.
Yeah.
But you have to have a non-negotiable that says no one on this planet is going to treat me like this.
Yes.
And whatever that is for you, whatever that this is for you, you stick by that.
Jeez.
You stick by that. You don't waver. You stick by that. Otherwise, people will come and take you for idiot.
Ah,
Right?
come on.
Take you
Come
for
on.
idiot very quickly. And I wish I knew that earlier. And I wish
Okay.
I understood that about myself earlier, and how powerful that really is.
Because you know what it is? Look how powerful you are now.
Amen.
Come on, listen,
Thank
that's all right. You're in a different position of power right now. Like the way you speak, what's the word? You speak so eloquently. Yeah, you're doing your thing. So it
Thank
shows
God.
it shows that you know what, you've come a long way. You're still on your way, and
Absolutely.
listen, you're on your way to the top. You understand?
you.
Like, no, come on, man. Like, I've enjoyed this episode. Like,
I have too.
I feel like there's still way much more to talk about. Part 2's coming, my people. Them,
Yeah.
you know. But before we even round up, obviously, I want you to tell the people where they can find you.
You can find me on social media. So my therapy Instagram is peaceofmind_CM, or is it CM_peace of mind? One of the two. I'm on TikTok, Shazara Melody. The podcast that I co-host is The Therapy Spot. We're on TikTok and we're on YouTube. So yeah, you can follow me there.
Jeez, Shazara,
Thank
Melody.
you.
Nah, man, you've been sick. You know, like, I'm just thinking, damn. Like, I told the people them, like, we got high caliber guests, and like, you're topping it, because like, listen, like, just hearing, you know, what you've gone through, how you maneuvered your way out of it, and where you're on your way to, like, it's just like, young women would love to look up to you, and like you said, like, I want to be like you, and I'm not me, I'm a big man, but you get me, the young girls, like, they need guidance.
Yeah,
and like, for them to see basically a older black woman, you're not old, but you know what I mean,
Yeah.
like a woman that's older than them, like, maneuver through the maze out of the forest, like, come on, man, big up to you, man.
Thank you.
Jeez,
That
my
means
people.
a lot.
Yeah, it means a lot.
Yeah.
Oh, come on, man. My people, them, listen, man. Make sure you tune in this one. Come on, man. We got Shaz in the building, you know. Come on, Fine Boy Damo. Come on, we're out.